14 people running for the leadership of the Conservative Party of Canada. One of them is Kellie Leitch. Kellie is currently the MP for the riding of Simcoe Grey, a riding just a short drive north of Toronto. Kellie, born in Winnipeg, but spent a good part of her youth in Alberta in Fort McMurray. So you're saying you moved there when you were around 3 or so? And you,
three going on
high
4.
school, all that?
Absolutely.
In Fort McMurray. There you go. So you know this part of the country well.
I know that it's warmer today than it is in Fort McMurray.
Yes, exactly, right? Exactly. Kellie is, as I mentioned, one of 14 taking part in the leadership campaign. You have distinguished yourself from the pack, so to speak, with a couple of views and a couple of planks in your platform for the leadership. One of them is getting a lot of attention, talking about screening for Canadian values. And I know that you've produced a video that's come out on that, and we're going to run that in the background here, but I just wanted to pick your brain. I guess when you started for screening, you're talking about screening all people, right, who are coming into the country, including visitors?
Yeah, so right now, only 1 in 10 immigrants coming to the country receive a face-to-face interview with a trained immigration officer. The Senate of Canada has recommended a pilot project where we screen each visitor, refugee, immigrant coming into the country, and I think we should apply that across the board. And this is not revolutionary policy. It's a bit back to the future. It's what our nation did until the 2000s. And so I'm just recommending we go back to that. We meet each person coming into Canada so that they can better integrate into Canada and we can welcome them into our Canadian family. I
think one of the things, though, that some people have been taking issue with is the screening for Canadian values. And what exactly are you talking about when you say that?
Well, when I talk about Canadian values, I'm talking about what we have in our Constitution, whether that be hard work, generosity, freedom, tolerance, and equality of opportunity. And individuals choose every day to come here to Canada because of those values so that they can have a freer and more prosperous life. You know, I was in the Pan Pacific Hotel last week in Vancouver waiting for an interview like this. This man, a big South Asian man, comes running towards me. I'm like, oh. And then he stopped and he said, you know, I came to Canada, keep talking about Canadian values because that's why I came to this country, so I could live in freedom and have a prosperous life with my family. So please keep talking about it. He said, I voted for Justin Trudeau in the last election. I have no intention of doing that. How do I help your campaign?
When you talk about Canadian values, though, will it weigh into religious beliefs?
These are civic values.
Yeah.
You know, and for myself, as I outlined, hard work, generosity, freedom, tolerance, those things that bind us together as a country, that have built this country.
So not religious beliefs?
I'm not talking about religious beliefs. When I say to people, what I'm talking about if I'm asking questions is, we know that men and women in this country are equal, that you can worship whoever you wish, that you can love whoever you wish. But violence and misogyny, they're not Canadian values.
The love whoever you choose to love, it gets to sexual orientation. Will that be part of this as well?
The questions that we have where we embrace freedom, I think, are all options for individuals to be asked about.
Okay, and will that kind of reject somebody if they have a particular view on sexual orientation?
When I'm talking about you can love whom you wish, you know, we have many young women who talk about honor killings. You know, that's about loving who you wish. And I want every young woman and young man in this country to know we live in a free and open society. You can love who you wish. Love
who you wish, okay. And just to kind of finalize, kind of wrap this up, you're not distinguishing people from specific countries or anything like that. You're saying all immigrants, all refugees, all visitors.
You know, here in Canada, we have a sense of equity and fairness.
Okay.
And so, as I say, I think we should be screening, as the Senate of Canada has recommended, every person entering the country. Last year, about 270,000 individuals came to Canada and didn't have a face-to-face interview. Well, how do we expect to integrate people into our Canadian family if we don't meet them? You know, I believe we have a shared value set here, that we as Canadians have something that binds us together, and that's in complete contradiction to our current Prime Minister, who thinks we have no core identity, we have no shared values.
You led to my next question, which is dealing with a national carbon pricing strategy, carbon tax, whatever you want to call it, and you're saying, no, that's not for you.
Abolish it immediately if I'm Prime Minister. I should say more probably when I'm Prime Minister, you know. We have this Prime Minister who has this tax taking money out of both your pockets with a fancy title. It does nothing for the environment, and all it does is put parents, families, individuals going to school
Would you leave it to the provinces, though? Because I
Not
know,
at all.
for example, Alberta has...
Well,
Yeah.
provincial jurisdiction is provincial jurisdiction. They'll make their choices for their provinces. But for myself at the federal level, I'll be abolishing the Trudeau carbon tax immediately.
And another thing that differs you from the Trudeau government is your stance on marijuana, right?
Very true.
Yeah, you're no way, do not legalize it.
I'm a pediatric orthopedic surgeon. I take care of kids. I'm now on leave from the Children's Hospital in Ottawa. But we know that this drug is a dangerous drug that has an impact on the developing brain. You know, I think it's extremely important that people who need it have it available to them from behind a pharmacy counter with a prescription. But I don't want it in the hands of kids. It is a public safety concern to me, and I plan to stand with parents who are concerned about the health and safety of their children.
Well, good luck for you. I
Thank you.
know it's a marathon for yourself and the other 13 candidates.
It's quite the interesting experience.
Busy indeed. A forum last night, debate in Edmonton the night before, forum in Calgary. So good luck to you, Kellie. And,
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on.
Maybe we'll cross paths again down the road here. Thank you,
Looking
Kellie.
forward to it.